guys? Mystic Shop Podcast. Yo, Swerve, you always put the number.
There's a number?
Yeah, there we go. Mystic Shop Podcast, episode 8. Nah, he every episode he puts the number. Literally. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, once we
waiting
get
for
past 10,
digits. That's what I'm waiting for double digits.
I'm gonna be like,
No. Gomez can help you. He has
yes.
You think I help? No, he's gonna do his own bollocks. I expect him to get his feet involved.
Alright.
I'm not putting my feet on the podcast. I'm just saying that right now. That's not happening.
Well,
nah.
We'll see.
We wouldn't ask for that. We wouldn't ask to see your majestic feet.
That's one word for them.
Yeah.
But how's everybody doing?
Great.
Yeah, game
Great.
by.
How's it going?
Yeah. Okay. So we got a new patch. Last week we thought it was coming out on Saturday, but it ended up coming out on what, like Wednesday or Tuesday?
Technically, the patch notes always come out on Tuesday evening and get implemented on Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
True. So we got patch 1.10. Wait, what happened to? I meant to.
What, 9? What happened to 9?
Yeah.
Got lost in the mix, mate. I need it.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about? Patch at 1.09 was awesome.
I was reading the patch notes for 10. I'm like, wait, weren't we on 8?
Yeah, we were.
So we just like, nah, we don't need that. We don't need
That's
that.
not important, mate. It's not important.
It's like what we did with episode 5 of the podcast, the forgotten episode.
Yeah, they'll never see it.
Yep.
Who even knows what happened to it?
Yep.
I mean, wasn't it the same with Windows? Does anyone remember Windows 9? I remember Windows 8 and I remember Windows 10. I don't remember Windows 9. It's exactly the same. I mean, do people just forget? No, it's not an important number. Let's be honest. So, solve it. It's fine.
So apparently we just skipped 1.9 and we're up to 1.10. So these will be our patch review notes for 1.10.
It's because 9's always gone. Like it's like, it's that whole joke of like, why was 6 scared of 7 because like 7, 8, 9.
Because 7, 8, 9. That's what happened.
Exactly. So 7, 8, 9. So 9's no longer a thing. So let's go straight on to 10.
Just cut right on into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pulling these patch notes up right now so we can fully discuss them. Yeah.
I was gonna ask what's everybody's favorite change. I mean, I know my favorite change.
Well, let's face it, it's gonna be Lee Sing, isn't it?
Of course.
I
was hyped when I saw him at 4 mana. What?
Okay, so it's not the mana drop of Lee Sin. My favorite change is the champion spell card change. I think that was like really brought it in line because you're like, okay, I have a Dragon's Rage in my hand. I can cast that at slow speed. Or I can just hit the freaking guy.
It works so perfectly, especially with Lee Sing himself, because it counts as a spell, and then you can cast another spell on top of it, so you can actually give him the barrier as well. And the second spell also buffs the attack, which means that if you have a leveled up Lee Sing, then that kick is just better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's my favorite part about the Lee Sin change, but overall, my favorite change was to Cygnus the Moonstalker. Giving him that extra oomph has been. I think I messaged both of you guys about it when this expansion hit. I was like, this guy's going to be a great finisher. Even at 4 attack, he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a beast.
Making something elusive is always good. It's always pretty strong.
Yeah, and I get that's my second favorite change. The first favorite change is how they nerfed Hush. Did you guys like that?
No. I'll tell you what has actually been quite a nice change.
Ooh, you see
a nice change. The nice change for me, actually, which is Flash of Brilliance, then bringing it back down to 3 mana. Actually, I do like that.
Oh, they made it a card again. You're right.
They made it a card again. It's actually, it's a really good change.
They brought Flash of Brilliance back from the dead.
Well, it's not. It was the fact that it was dead, but now it just combos so well with the tri-beam. So yeah.
Hey, we're gonna get into tri-beam later.
Oh, we will. I'm sure we will. But I'm just saying that I actually do like the change they made the Flash of Brilliance, bringing it back to where it originally was.
Yep.
I think that definitely helps the Heimerdinger decks. Even though I think with cards like Make It Rain and the Swain card that does 4 damage for 1
Ravenous
mana,
Block.
Ravenous Block.
It's just gonna be really hard for Heimerdinger to even creep in the meta right now, because you could just instantly kill the turrets. Just like, oh, they're 1 health. All right, they're dead. Now what?
Well, that's how they should be.
Yeah.
No, they
No,
need to be that way.
No, I'm not saying. Whoa, wait, Riot, please. I'm not saying buff their turrets to 2 health. Please, no, don't do that.
I just want the mechanic where like obviously his actual mechs are all part of their own tribe, aren't they? So I just want buffs to that tribe is all I want. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Where cards interact with that, and like, I don't know. That's what I like.
Yeah. That needs to.
No. But to be fair, I'd like for like mechs or robots in general just to become its own tribe, because there's a few of them in the game now. Mainly in PNC, obviously, but I would like an actual, if they were their own tribe and had their own cards which buffed or did things with them, like how the dragons can have got the one who gets their cost down. If you had a similar thing for mechs, where you had a card which then reduced the cost of all the other mechs. Like, I don't know. I would like so. Like, I just want to make a robot deck, okay? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, go! On Transformers, robots in disguise.
Or
Let me play robots. I want to play robots.
Exactly.
All right, but let's get organized here. So we'll start from the top. We have the Ezreal change. So +2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
+2 untargeting, and there are many folks out there going Ezreal's dead, and I'm of the tribe with that belief, except
He's
for
not dead. He's not dead.
Well, hold on. Outside of Bilgewater, Ezreal is not a champion anymore.
I disagree. Massively disagree.
Except for unless you're playing Hush too.
Exactly. So he works in Targon.
Yeah, he works in Targon too. I forgot about that. So outside of Bilgewater and Targon, Ezreal is no longer a card.
There's not as many targeting spells, but PNZ in itself has got enough targeting spells. Like every single one of those static shocks counts as 2 anyway. And then is the mystic shots either that you put in or that he creates as well. I mean, there is ways of it still being a thing.
Yeah, okay, but
it's harder. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's harder, but it's still, Ezreal ain't dead.
The thing about it is that like, so static shock is great for building up his targeting, but it does 1 damage and it costs 4 mana.
It's got draw as well. That's the other benefit.
Yeah, you draw a card. I'm not discounting all of that, but it does 1 damage. Now, when you are hitting 2 Arbiters of the Peak, they go, okay, I don't care. Like, go ahead, level your Ezreal. He's already so slow, and I get it. He's supposed to be like that he's the one who shuts the door once he flips on the game. Yeah. So it makes sense. It's just right now I would have been happier with 9. That's all I'm saying. I think that 9 targets would have been a little bit more fair.
I mean, they already skipped 1.9, so how?
Yeah, I mean, we've already established that 9's not a number, so it's 8 or 10, and that's it. Okay, there is no in between.
All right, so then moving down, we touched upon the Lee Sin changes already, and I think it's going to warrant that we discuss Lee Sin at some point more completely. Yeah. And we can do it right now because
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Lee Sin was gonna be my favorite card of the week. In all honesty, just because he is now, with the cost change and with the spell change, he's just become so much more versatile and different decks that you can put him in. So obviously, like, the first place that people put him in is either Noxus or Targon for the overwhelm factor of Might or Kato or Zenith Blade and whatnot. I've actually been having a little bit of fun putting him in Shadow Isles with making a spooky deck and just bringing back loads of these things and letting them kick in. I also think that now with his cost, he's definitely could work really well if you were to make a Demacia deck with Shen, because he gets a barrier every single time we use 2 spells, and so that would help with it. I haven't actually created that deck yet, but I think it's a viable option now, whereas when his cost was a bit higher and was harder to get him out and then also be able to... I don't know, like, I feel like it's opened the door to a lot more combos, and yeah, I'm happy with that change. I guess. Great.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a healthy change for Ionia. Like, Ionia is back on the map, boys. Finally.
Yo, I felt like Deny and Will was like holding up Ionia, and now Lee Sin's like, nah, you guys can sit down. I got this.
Yep, definitely. And
To be fair, Deny is so powerful now. Oh, you have no idea how amazing it was. I was against a ramp deck, ASOL Trundle ramp deck, and twice, like while I was using my Lee Sing, like kicking them about and laughing at them, they twice tried to use that 7 cost card, and definitely they were using it on ASOL, which would have healed their Nexus for 10 and also reduced his cost down to 0, and twice threw the Deny on it. And I just know that they must have been raging. Like just the Yasuo, definitely stopping that. It felt, I'm not gonna lie, it felt amazing in my soul, and I knew, like, it felt,
my soul.
It felt a lot like, isn't it like a guy in Mortal Kombat or something like that that's like, your soul is mine, like, who steals people. It felt like that.
Song, dude.
Yes, something along those lines. It just felt like I was, getting invigorated by their hatred of what I was doing. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, like how I feel about playing Fizz, because you know they're tough the second he hits the board.
Oh my goodness! Don't target Fizz.
I mean, Hush targets Fizz very easily and just whoop, no, done.
Oh my!
Just not gonna hold back a shush with your name on it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hush was nerfed in patch 1.09. Why are you guys still complaining?
It's a bad card now, guys.
All right, so
don't play it in your decks.
So with people, what were your thoughts on Lee Sin? How do you feel about him?
So when I first saw this change, I was like, yes, Lee Sin is finally a card, yo. Yes, I'm about to be honest, I was trying him in a few I don't know. I wanted him to work with PNZ. I don't know why. But I don't think.
Did you want him to work in PNZ because you wanted what's his face to target? What can't think of the bloody guy's name when you target him? He draws cards, but you can.
Oh, Jay Madara. Yes.
Jay Madara.
Yes.
Continuously just targeting him, especially with Sonic Wave, just targeting him twice and then going,
yes.
Look at me draw.
Yes. I was because I just got off the wave of people was talking about Jay Madara with the gems, like not that long ago. So I was like, I just want to put him on the Lee Sin deck to see how it's gonna go. But I mean, it's not that good together because you don't really have like a lot of backbone. Like you don't have a lot of monsters on the board. Well, not monsters, freaking followers. You don't have a lot of followers on the board, so it's kind of hard to be able to press with Lee Sin because you can't really level him that fast.
I tried him with PNZ, and I went the mushroom route, and I put him with Teemo actually.
Nice.
You laugh, but
nice.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good, but it runs out of gas really quick. You run out of gas quick, so like you got to try to flip Teemo, I think, in order to make it so that they're under enough pressure to make Lee Sin your win condition with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Quickly moving down, War Chefs. They got fired. Their restaurant is closed.
I mean, you say it's closed, but so their attack went down, but they still provide so it's still a good turn 2 support card.
Yes,
because as well, it does actually, because if people don't target whoever the hell it's going for, it's actually a cheap heal card to be able to heal, like in Demacia, to be able to heal cards back up again if they're not being dealt with. So yeah, I've got no problem with Warship. Like, I mean, it feels a little more fairer now, especially with the amount of support that's now been brought into the game. It just feels like a fairer thing. But
yeah, no, I can agree with it, and I think overall it is a healthy change. It's just people are gonna be searching more for what is the better 2-drop from Demacia or slot in other region 2-drops, because it's just he doesn't trade with anything anymore, and I think he needs to be that way. War Chefs, like you need to be able to be like, all right, well, I'll just put my Cithri of Cloudfield in front of it. I can block that 1 damage, and your Cithri of Cloudfield or whatever is going to get through for 3. So it's just kind of I'm okay with this for a couple of turns.
Yeah, no, it was a warranted change because scouts needed some kind of nerf. If they didn't nerf, what's that 5-mana card that buffs the whole field? I forgot. I can't remember.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The one that's got scout and
Oh, Genevieve.
Yeah.
That's 6 mana. Yeah.
Yeah, if they didn't nerf Genevieve, then I feel like they would have had to touch I don't know, like MF or something. So I think this was probably like the best way to change that deck. I mean, it's not gonna completely like get that deck out of here. It's not gonna completely do that, but it is gonna slow down their early game, because that's what really be like pushing it is their early game. They can put down like 5 damage on turn 2. They can put down 7 damage on turn 3. Like you don't really have a chance to play.
The second that Bannerman comes out, you're like, here it comes.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, you gotta have heavy removal on turn 3 if you don't want to have a bad time on 4.
Exactly. Oh, the Van Dups, they start coming in.
All right, Flash of Brilliance.
DPS for anyone who doesn't know, damage per second. Van Dups, damage. Anyway, it's no important.
On to Flash of Brilliance.
No, I think we talked about Flash.
Yeah.
But it brings Heimerdinger back, like it revives him back into the meta, because I mean, I'm not saying that I don't know if you guys sat down and watched there was like a video that Swim came out with, not like it was a while ago though. He talked about like how Heimerdinger is a really polarizing card, and I do agree 100%.
Well, the thing with it was that it wasn't really Flash that was his like main problem. It was the fact that it made elusive cards and it could make them very quickly. Like you drop Heimer on turn 5, if you had the spell mana, boom, you're basically dropping down 2 elusives with him, and if it's your attack go and your opponent's got nothing they can do about it, then it was that's where the problems came. Whereas now, I think it's the fearsome minion, isn't it? A fearsome, from what I remember. Yeah. It's not as bad. It's more you can deal with it. And so I think that when it went up to 4 mana, because whereas you could play that card and then like still have something. It felt bad, or like worse to play it, obviously, when it was 4.
No,
so
it felt a little much. It felt like a huge, like it felt like Heimerdinger got this like huge nerf when it was like not only was it the turrets, not only was it Flash of Brilliance, like it was like also the meta shifted, and it was just like he just got slapped.
Yep.
Like in my opinion, he just got completely like he's off the map at this point. So I think he definitely needed a change to bring him back into the meta somehow, because I'm sure people will experiment with it, even if it's not like tier 1. People will experiment with it at least.
He's competitively viable again.
Yeah,
that's kind of the major thing that got brought about from the Flash change, and it needed to happen because now it makes Tri-Beam better as well, because you can combo that with it. It brings Heimer to a playable state again. Which is good. Overgrown Snapvine got the LOL 1 attack buff. I feel like I'm still never gonna play that card.
They're trolling.
That's just personally.
It's in the right kind of deck. That's the good.
It's just a person. Yeah, it's personal for me. That's not my kind of play style. So, I like it. I think it's a good thing for the game. It's fine, because the the condition that you have to meet to defeat the Snapvine win condition is the same because the health didn't go up. So yeah, I think it's a great change.
The 5 attack just made it so that there was a few different things that could now work with it. Like there's obviously that card. People were saying that there was that card in Freyord where which any card that's over 5 damage, it gives them overwhelm or something like that. I mean, it's I can see
or sign whatever.
But not only that, I just thought about the Freljord card that can search a 5+ card. You can search to your hand.
It puts it into the Babbling Bjerg tool as well.
Yeah, Babbling Bjerg. But yeah, that's what I mean. So it works in so many different ways now that it just helps it out that little bit more while still kind of keeping it along the same power level because not as many people were playing it anyway. So I don't know, it just gives it a little bit more viability. So,
yeah.
Few different things.
It's pretty cool.
I still think they're trolling.
yeah. It's kind of troll. I mean, that card is a troll card already. I mean, you're never going to be like, oh, Snapvine. No, that makes sense. That is a meme tier card, and it's always going to be.
Hopefully it stays that way, because I'm sure Gomez remembers that everybody get in here card from, what's her name? From Hearthstone.
Why did you just do that? Why did you do that?
Because I was thinking about it and I was like, yo, that I remember memes about that card. Just everyone get in here.
I mean, to be fair, that's just the innkeeper in general. Whenever you open the game, but that's the innkeeper who says that when you open the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crackshot Corsair. So we're going to talk about Legends of Runeterra still. Crackshot Corsair. Crackshot Corsair got a health buff to 2 health, and I don't see how anybody can be like, oh yeah, that's not warranted. Like, I think that's great. Especially with Bilgewater nerfs on the horizon.
It's a card. It's a card which basically its whole purpose is to stay on the backfield anyway. Like once you play it, its whole purpose is like nobody attacks forward with the Corsair because obviously they want to keep that for that extra damage because it's either going to be leveling up your Gangplank or it's going to be leveling up your Sejuani if you're throwing in Freyord as well. So it kind of it needed that little bit more stuff because I mean make it rain, vile, unspeakable horror. Now there's so many things which just pick off that one damage really early on.
Yep.
And let's face it, like Crackshot, if something comes out really early on to be able to get that little extra bit of damage in this, it would stay on the back line. So I can understand it.
Yep. Jagged Taskmaster in Bilgewater.
You know what? Yeah, I forgot that this card was a thing for a long time. I have not seen anyone play this card in so long.
There's so many buffs on this list that's so troll. They were like, yo, this card is getting 0% play. Yo, let's buff it.
but when you say these words, but I can actually start to see this being a thing, especially like working with P&Z, because let's face it, P&Z's already got what's his name, Van Yip or whatever it is, where he buffs 1-cost cards anyway. So if you're already buffing up 1-cost cards attack, and then you combo that with say something like Poro Cannon, Poro Cannon, and then have those elusives, it can actually work really well. It's one of those things which I guess wasn't on anyone's radar, like a Taskmaster, because when it cost for it, I don't know, it kind of felt bad because you do have to get that plunder as well. So then, to get that attack, I don't know, just like it was one of those cards which kind of fell off.
It's kind of like both of the buffs that Bilgewater got, I think, kind of go hand in hand. You have the Crackshot Corsair, which enables the plunder really well, and then this card. Hits the board, and
is also going to be buffing the Crackshot Corsairs as well. So it does work out. I can see a lot more things happening with that kind of play style.
Yeah,
I mean, even putting it with what's his face, Shadow Owls, the Spiderlings. Because I mean, if you play it with Elise, I mean, it opens the door a little bit more to a few different things.
Yeah, I think it's healthier as a 2-drop, and gives it a lot more variety because it was competing with other other things like MF, like MF, and like why would I drop this instead of MF? And it's still a fearsome blocker. It's still the only thing is now is it's removed by Mystic Shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the other kind of thing that makes it a little bit weaker.
Yeah, I think 2-drops should be able to get killed by a Mystic Shot though. I think that's pretty healthy for the game.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of 2-drops should be getting killed by Mystic Shot. Agreed. Yordle Grifter. I think I had said it. I believe last week I said they were just going to put the warning shot in with Allegiance, and do we really need to even talk about it?
I mean, it was one of those things where literally it was the most powerful Allegiance card in the game because you still got something off of it, even if you didn't have Allegiance. So it does now just put it in line that it's like, okay, right, so it does. You're not getting something for free. And face it, warning shot for free anyway. Because I mean, it was the fact that you had a body on the board, you had a free body on the board, and you were guaranteed to get a warning shot, which you could then combo with your Riptide Rex later on down the... I mean, it was a little bit ridiculous, I will admit that. So it does make sense. The change does put it in line more with the Allegiance minion.
Yep, Allegiance is supposed to feel really good when you hit it, and really bad when you don't. That's just the way that it is.
Yeah. Oh, when people don't hit their bannerman, you see it, and you know that they're hurting in their soul.
You definitely pour on your in there, 100%.
Yep.
Send them the tears, bro.
The final card change, Cygnus the Moonstalker, my favorite change of this patch. I thought he was great already. I think that he's a really great and strong finisher, and I think you're gonna start seeing him in like some weird splashes for some aggro decks, like possibly like maybe even a Bannerman style deck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you guys feel about that, like Bannerman but sneaking in Cygnus. It could be a thing.
I didn't think about that.
Maybe.
But maybe even like a Mistwraith deck or something, like where Mistwraiths have finally kind of flooded the board, but then you can't really punch through with just your Mistwraiths, and now all of a sudden, like, what the heck? There's a Cygnus.
I don't know why. The second that I see somebody play like a Mistwraith deck or anything like that, if you're playing Targon and you've got Hush in hand, it's like, I'll just keep that back for a little while. Wait until they do their big push and
I don't even know what's going on here. Hush was nerfed in 1.09.
Oh my god. It's like
the patch notes that were never told of.
It's like every single
what do you guys think
The Forgotten Realm.
It's like every single combo that you could think of. You're like, oh yeah, this combo is really good, and then you're like, oh, what counters it? Hush.
I mean, typically, it's one of those things where, like, they have already said they're going to address it, and it is only the one region where I mean, like, I don't know about everyone else, but most of the time when I've been on ladder, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people playing Targon, but there's still is quite a few variations where people are like playing other things still. So it's the one region, and then once the second you see that you're playing against Targon, you're like, okay, right, they're most likely got Hush, and then it's all about just working how you play around it.
Mm-hmm.
So. You try to either force it out early so it doesn't actually go onto your main win condition, or like there are actually ways around like playing around it in a manner of speaking. It just depends on what you do.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you are playing against Targon and you go all in and you haven't seen them play a Hush yet, you're bad. You're just bad at the game, right?
At this point, yes, because you should see it coming. You should see it coming. Like it's that one card on the left side they have never played, and you're like, oh, what could that be? Oh, look at that! Long and behold.
Yep.
What you want to be doing is you actually want to be forcing it out of them early, because the earlier you force it out of them, they can't use it as multiple times. So it's just about trying depending on what you've got in hand, like there is ways that you can play around it. It just depends on how you decide to go. It's mainly trying to force it onto something else that's not your main win condition. You kind of like keep that hidden while playing things that you're like, I don't mind if this gets hushed. You know what? If it makes them feel good about themselves, good. I don't know. Like it's one of those things. It does depend on what your opponent's like. Because your opponent could be like, okay, right, I'm keeping this because I know what I'm expecting. But it does depend, because you do like sometimes like go against somebody who just has no idea how to play a deck, and you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely been people. I played against somebody. It was on stream the other week, who threw down 2 Radiant Guardians like out of their hand before something died. And it's like, I don't think you know how that card works. Like, type thing. It's like, it's the fact they did it twice was like, I mean, I paid him, of course, but you know, like when you were doing, like, just
he was just prepping his harrowing for later on, dude. That's all.
I mean, I thought that the first play was a misplay. Like, he might have been trying to go for the card next to it, accidentally picked. I was like, oh shit, I've dropped that. But when he did it twice, it was like, oh, okay. I mean, I can forgive the first one. Now die. But yeah,
You were like, damn. Yikes. Yeah.
All right, let's pick some cards, man. We the people. What's your favorite card of this last week?
I want to say Lee Sin, but I'm not. Because Gomez said that's his favorite card of the week.
yeah, I won't. How dare you use my card? I mean, you can use the card you want to. It's a really good card now.
Nah. I'll choose a different card. So, like I told you guys, I was testing. I wasn't really playing it because I was losing a lot of games. But, I was testing the Jay Madara Lee Sin stuff, and I was also testing it with Tarek as well. But my favorite card for the week is, wait, hold on, let me get the exact name. I'm just saying this 3-mana card. That's not a card.
This 3-mana card, yes, you know, the one. It's 3 mana and it does the thing. You know the thing.
We're right there with you, buddy.
You know the thing it does.
I was talking about Mentor of the Stones.
Oh yeah, no, good card.
Yeah. I've been enjoying that card 100%. Because I've been trying to splash Lee Sin with Targon mostly.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not playing him with P and Z, then I was testing him because I was like, I mean, Hush is a good card, right? So, you know, it's just, you know.
I mean, he makes sense in Targon just because I said Zenith Blade, and the fact that actually just draws more Zenith Blades if you're playing it on Daybreak. So even if that Lee Sin dies, then you're like, ha, I have another one. And he also has Overwhelm. Good day!
Yeah,
but
exactly.
There is... And with the gems, you can level Lee Sin up very quickly in Targon if you're playing it right. So, I mean, it's a solid choice.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because Targon already has... It's not like you need another region to give you Overwhelm, because Targon has Overwhelm. It has Overwhelm. It has Hush, and it has the gems. So I think it's a pretty good fit for Lee Sin. And then also with the Lee Sin change to make his champion card Sonic Wave now, it's A1. That's A1 right there. So that's what I've been playing a lot. But I'm pretty sure everyone on ladder has been playing that. I've been getting to a lot of mirror matches.
I know it's a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what changed that kind of it. I don't know why. I think that it hit me a little bit more than than it should have done. But the fact that now Tarek doesn't actually get a level up from if you heal your Nexus, because they used to actually, like, from using Guiding Touch, he would actually get a level up from that because you were still technically like targeting an ally. You were targeting your Nexus. He no longer gets that, and he no longer, because he used to actually also get if you targeted things in hand, and he no longer gets buffs from that. I do know it's only a little tiny thing, but it kind of was like, oh.
Yeah, the thing about in hand, I can understand that, but the Nexus, I don't like that, and I think that Riot really needs to work on their wording, and I've touched upon this in a previous podcast, and for Dreadway to give the player like I envision it in a world where I am my Nexus and that's me, and Dreadway buffs me, my Nexus, to do double damage. So I don't really like it, and they need to kind of get their wording right. I think it just bothers me personally that it's like that.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
There's definitely some wordings in the game that you'll be reading this card. Well, I don't know if anybody else, because like I said, I was playing a lot of Tarek with Lee Sin. So
yeah,
I don't know if this is a bug or not, but when you level Taric and you give him a barrier, the his buff to make it so that no one takes damage does not apply.
I've not come
That's
across
gotta be a bug.
so
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
It's happened to me about 3 times now.
Then stop doing it.
I had to test it to make sure. I'm like, wait, am I doing something wrong?
That sounds like a bug.
It happens. It happened 3 times to me. I was like, wow. So it only happens when you give Taric a barrier. When you give Taric a barrier and then he gives the Lee Sin a barrier, then his buff doesn't apply. So if, say for instance, if they hit the barrier off and they put something big in front of Taric, he dies.
I feel a bit bad for Taric at this moment in time, just because like I just feel like Hush the way there is, just literally you throw, especially if he's like protecting another champion or whatnot, and then like how you think they're like, they're unkillable, and then somebody just goes shh, and then puts things in front of it and kills them. It's like, oh shit. So I don't at the moment in time, Taric doesn't like he's not really somebody I've gone down the route of using, just because like I feel that Hush actually just like is such a big counter to his actual level up ability that like you can spend the whole thing leveling him up. Like I say, spend the whole thing. It's like he's not actually a bad champion to level, because if you're playing with gems and whatnot, and you can keep most of them in hand, you can actually level him up quite quickly. But in my opinion, personally, I just think that he's not worth playing at the moment. But they have addressed that they will be changing Hush. How they're going to be doing it, we've yet to see. But yeah,
I think it's kind of obvious to know that they're going to make it so that Hush costs 1 more every time you use it. I think that is going to be the route they take. I think they even mentioned that consecutive use cost. So that seems to be definitely the way that they're going to go, and I don't think anybody is going to argue with that.
That's not bad
change. I think that's a fine route to go, and I hope that they do. So
yeah.
No, I think that's a good change.
I don't want them to kill the card, because I actually do like the concept about what it does. It's without a doubt probably one of the most powerful spells in the game, because of the fact that it can target a champion and whatnot, and like to stop a level up or to stop like a win condition. Let's say so basically like say that you know that your opponent has got like several spells in hand and they're about to like go off with Ezreal, and just to be able to stop that for that one turn can sometimes be a difference between life and death. But there are other champions as well that is quite good to hit.
Yep. I can agree with that. It's just that the thing I've hated about Hush from the start is that targeting can just be like, well, I'm gonna play whatever the heck I want, and I'll just stick 3 Hushes in my deck, and I can deal with any matchup that I go against. And there's no other card like that in the game. Nothing. No, and that's why Hush is incredibly unhealthy. What are we doing now?
Oh, we were talking about my favorite and least favorite.
Yes, sorry. We went off on a crazy.
No, we went on a crazy tangent just now. but it was warranted, because Hush is a crazy Riot. Hush is a crazy card. It's a crazy card. Okay, have you gotten that yet? We've talked about it 3 podcasts straight.
It's bonkers. It's absolute bonkers.
But I just want to I was thinking, as we've got into that kind of topic, I do want to say though it is a card that does need to be fixed, there's no reason to hold up the ladder and hold people hostage, as it were. I know that obviously they've now changed that so that they can it's only a maximum of 15 of the same spell now, I think, is what you can cast in a turn.
I believe so.
They did actually 15. cap how many of the same spell you can use.
No more infinite combos. No.
But more infinite combos.
There's no excuse for because it's more the fact that when you do something like that, like with the Zephyr Sage and whatnot like that, there were people who were going to lose their game. They'd flat out lost their game. They'd been outplayed and whatnot, but then were just holding their opponent, just like
hostage,
saying, "Well, you can't make your move. This game can't end if I don't keep using this." So, and then just holding you, and that's not enjoyable. So it is understandable, but you should not be trying to. Although you might want a card to be changed, or you might disagree with a card, there's no reason to try to use it to force the false discontent and wicked and toxicity onto the ladder. Because I mean, especially when people are trying to climb on the ladder or people are doing whatnot. Mm-hmm. There's people who spend a lot of time and effort, and as I think you said, we the people, there's sometimes people who they want to get on the ladder, but they've only got, because I mean, they've got jobs, they've got other things, they've only got a certain amount of time. So it's like, okay, I'm going to spend these 2 hours grinding, and then to come up against a deck like that, where it's just like, that's now just taken up. Yeah. I don't know how much of my time, and I've got nothing out. I've got nothing out of it in terms of just coming against something like that. It's just, it's not a fun thing.
Yeah, it's literally a waste of time, and it also just at the end of it, you're just like, oh, you're just gonna leave because there's nothing else you can do. Like literally, either you're just gonna sit there and watch them keep comboing, or you're gonna leave. Like those are your choices. So
yeah,
I don't think that's healthy for the game. So, but at least they changed it now. It's changed. So
yeah,
is Hush your least favorite card of the week?
No, actually, no, actually. So, I mean, I'm playing Lee Sin. What do you think my least favorite cards are? Frostbite.
Playing Lee Sin. So what's your least favorite card gonna be?
Frostbite.
Oh, flash freeze.
Nah, I was hating on the 6-mana one.
Oh, okay. All right.
To be fair, Frostbite, because that actually does stop his kick.
Yep, it does.
From happening as well, so that's quite devastating.
Stops it right in his tracks. Yeah, harsh winds. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something. There's got to be something to stop that.
Stops it right in his track. Like, wait, hold on. You about to do what?
Stop it. Stop that. Knock it off.
I mean, of course there's Hush, but I think Harsh Winds does it a lot better, because then you don't even get the what's the name? I mean, they're gonna change Hush regardless, but I think the Frostbite counters Lee Sin a lot.
It depends on what you've got in hand and how well you've read your opponent. So if you know that you're against Freljord and you've got Sonic Wave, you can use the one cost, because I mean, at the point where Lee Sin's leveled up, his barrier really doesn't make any difference anymore when you're attacking, because I mean, he's going to be kicking whoever he's got into the Nexus. So what you would do is you would use his first bit of it to give somebody challenge so that you can get out one of their other things, and then keep the second one back, so because that obviously buffs by 2 attack. So if they do Frostbite, then boom, you just throw that on top of him. I mean, not to say that they've not got another Frostbite behind that, but it would make them use more things to be able to get rid of. I don't know, I've not had a problem with that whenever I've been playing Lee Sin against Freljord, because I've been just thinking, because especially when I'm playing that deck, I'm definitely throwing copies of Sonic Wave into my deck, as well as the fact that obviously any copies of Lee Sin are making more copies of Sonic Wave. Yeah, so it's not as bad. It can be so that's why to me Hush is worse than Frostbite, because I think that the deck itself and his spell now kind of almost combats that in a way, personally.
Yeah. No, Hush is... It's got to get changed. Holy crap.
All right. Let's leave Hush in the past.
No. What you could do for this episode, dude? Can you put a Hush counter in the corner?
How many times was mentioned?
Oh my goodness! If I go back from we've been talking about Hush since Targon dropped, basically. So if I go back from when Targon dropped till now. Oh my gosh! I think we said Hush.
No, I mean just this episode. How many times have you said it?
Oh, just this episode.
The word Hush.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I could do that. I know we've talked about Hush so many times.
Oh yeah.
You're just making your job harder by doing the counter right now. You keep saying it over and over again.
I mean, what? We're supposed to have fun. It's the podcast.
Amen. Amen. Gomez, what's your favorite card?
I mean, I already told you it was Lee Sing. I told you that. When we were going through the patch notes, man. I said it's just solid champion now, very versatile. With his cost and spell being changed, he can be thrown into multiple different kinds of decks now. Different regions as well. Like, it's not like a region specific like kind of thing. Whereas when he cost a bit more, I think most people were throwing him into Noxus anyway, just because of the overwhelm. But also the early game in Noxus was really good when, like, obviously because you knew you were going to be getting him out late game. Whereas now, I said, like, obviously people are throwing him in Targon. I said he worked quite well for me in Shadow Isles. And I do think that he's got a home in Demacia as well. So if you combo him with Shen, like, now I haven't made that deck yet, but I feel like that could be quite a good deck. It's just easier to move around a lot more. Plus, like, throw him in Bilgewater, get him a combo with Fizz, with like the fact that his thing does 2. Now, which is
speaking my language now, dude.
I'm speaking your language, but yeah, I mean, there's more options that are available. In terms of my least favorite card, I'd probably have to say Ravenous Flock has been probably one of my least favorite cards, because I've been coming across Swain and obviously Leviathan a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, that combo is devastating when they manage to get it off and whatnot, but it's just more the fact that literally they can get a stun very early on, and just for 1 mana, 4 damage is a lot, and can take out so many different things. So I don't know, for that mana cost and the amount that it can do, and the fact that obviously it is Swain's spell as well, that that's coming out multiple times in that deck. Personally, to me, that's my feel bad card of the week. It's just how many times that's been used against me. Don't get me wrong; it's a great card to be playing it, but against it, I just think that 4 damage for 1 mana is a little bit too much, personally. But I know that I can see the look on your face. You're hating every word that's coming out of my mouth.
No.
Screw you and your hat.
I feel like I'm in like the middle, because I have played some Swain lists, and I've also, like, this week I've been playing Lee Sin. So, in my opinion, I think Flock, I'm not saying it needs a nerf, but like it is that 1 mana. Come on. Swerve, come on.
It's the fact that, because obviously it's normally comboed with Swain, that just gets him so close to his level up for 1 mana. I mean, that's a third of that man's level up for 1 mana. So early game.
1 mana.
And once he levels up and throws Leviathan, when he has the Leviathan on the board as well, just you know you're in trouble.
Like,
you want to hear what I have to say about that?
I mean, I know what you're going to say. It's just like, there's no problem at all. How dare you? If anything, it should do 6 damage.
Wow. You were really about to say that? Yo.
You read my mind.
I know.
Wow, dude. Yo,
okay.
That's crazy.
I'm just gonna say that there is a condition behind 1 mana for 4 damage, and it is they have to be stunned or they have to be damaged. So that card is nothing by itself. It's nothing. I mean, I don't like. I think that card is incredibly fair. It's so super fair, and it has nothing to do with my go-to list for climbing being a Swain deck. It has nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that. You're not biased at all.
Wait, does it?
Nothing at all.
Wait, it doesn't stun if the unit isn't damaged or what's the name, right?
Yeah, it doesn't do any damage. It doesn't do any damage if they're not stunned or damaged.
Okay.
Yep. So there's lots of play around, and I mean, there's.
You say there's lots of play around when, like, there's so many spells that are also played in that deck that can easily do damage.
I mean, let's go into a scenario where you're playing a Lee Sin deck and I'm playing a Swain deck, and we both have a 1-drop somehow. We both have a 2-drop somehow. We both have a 3-drop. So there's no spell mana in play. But turn 4 comes out. You play your Lee Sin. I play my Arachnoid Sentry and kill your Lee Sin. That feels awful. But that cost me 2 cards. 2 cards to do that.
You say it cost you 2 cards, but in that Swain deck, when you're already with Leviathan drawing Swain out and whatnot, and then you're playing it, which is putting another Swain in the deck, which means no, which is now meaning that when you draw that, you're then playing even more of those. Like you can say that oh well, don't worry, there's only 3 copies of it in the deck. My bumhole there's like what you call, like when you start shuffling Swain, when you got Swain on the board and you're playing that card continuously, like you got endless supply, man. You got endless supply. And not only that, the second the Leviathan drops and you're stunning all those cards anyway. Did you see that guy on Reddit who had played She Who Wanders or whatever it is? And then it was either that or it was something else with Overwhelm potentially to play that forward, but then the Leviathan had stunned it, and then they boom 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 threw 3 flocks at that, and it's just like, oh man. Because I think that they were going to use It was stunned. Atrocity, yeah, they were going to use Atrocity on it to kill the person, so I was going to do 10 damage to the enemy Nexus, and we were just going to kill them, and then just throw in 3 flocks.
Was I the opponent in that Reddit?
Maybe!
I have done that to people before.
Exactly.
Perfect
counter. I just feel like it's a little bit too much damage for its mana cost, personally. I know that you do have to hit certain things, like it does have to be stunned or damaged, but I just think that for 1 mana, that's a little bit too potent, as it were, personally.
I think that card would be garbage at 3 damage, and I think that card would be garbage at 2 mana. I don't see a way that you could nerf that card and make it playable.
Even at 2 mana, you say that makes it garbage, but I mean, as I said, that's still 4 damage, and the fact that you get multiple copies of it, and it's very like quick to level Swain when you do start hitting those. I don't think that would be bad at all at 2 mana, personally. That spell.
I don't know.
You just don't want to admit it. In your unbiased opinion, you just don't want to admit it because you're playing it at the moment.
I will admit, it's really hard for me to disconnect from the personal connection I have with that card.
Even I could say, as a man who plays Shadow Isles a lot, even I can say that Stalking Shadows is broken and needs to at least go up in a cost, because it's amazing to use. 2 mana, you get to go through the top 4 cards of your deck, choose the minion that you want out of those options. Like obviously you don't always get the 4 choices, you do sometimes get 3, 2, or maybe just the 1 choice. But you're getting a copy, it's drawing out and you're getting 2. I mean, even I can say, even though I love using that card and it's amazing, even I can say that, yeah, that's a little bit too much. I think that maybe it needs a tweak and go up a cost. And, but I'm playing that deck and loving it. So I said, you got to be able to look at things objectively, you son of a bitch.
I can't right now. I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair play.
Sorry.
I can understand getting when you just fall in love with a card. You're just I just love everything that's working with this deck. I can understand that. So, fair play.
No, Flock is a good card. It's a good card.
Oh, no, Flock is a very good card at the moment, without a shadow of a doubt. For what it is, that's why I'm saying that I feel like it needs attention. It's a very good card.
Yeah, you're right. It deserves a spotlight. Because
you're right. You know what? Solid. Let's put it into warning shot territory. Make it 0 mana.
And burst speed too.
Exactly.
And I mean, if the enemy Nexus is damaged, why can't I hit that?
Exactly. It's not wrong. We should make these changes immediately.
Yo. Nah, right. Chill.
Yeah.
All jokes.
Yeah.
All right, so I alluded to this, I think, a little bit with you guys earlier, but my favorite card of this week has been Tribeam Improbulator, because that card is funny. That is it's a good card, and it's hilarious. And
have you tried it in your Swain list? Because I think it would pretty good in Swain.
I do have a Teemo Swain list that features 2 copies of Tri-Beam and Probulator. And the highest I've gotten into is 8, and I got a Terror of the Tides with it after killing something.
Oh my goodness.
And I did have a Swain on the board on my attack, and it just the fearsome went through, and it was glorious. He surrendered, so I didn't get to see it. You know,
Damn,
it was really
you didn't
sad.
Get to see the attack.
I hate when people. We need to talk about that. When your opponent is just completely nutted out, and you just gotta sit back and go.
Facts. No,
you gotta give them that satisfaction. Don't just surrender. That's such a selfish move, man. Think of the children.
I agree with you.
Come on.
Gotta give back, yo.
I think we all really love Tri-Beam and Probulator, but my least favorite card, and it's only because I've been seeing so many Lee Sin Targan lists that I've been up against, has been Arbiter of the Peak, because it gives this other win condition to Lee Sin, and it's like, oh well, I've dealt with this Lee Sin. Finally, it costed me 4 cards, but he just dropped 2 6/6 overwhelms that costed him 1.
Yep.
And you want to make fun of Ravenous Flock?
Yes, because then your Leviathan comes down and stuns the hell out of that 6/6.
Get out of here with Leviathan.
Yeah.
Leviathan costs 8 mana. Okay.
Okay, it's true.
You know what? You know who we can blame for this? You know what card we can always blame? Hush.
You know what card?
Counter up 1.
We can always blame that card. That it did.
I tell you what card I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the reverse of possession. That's what card I'm waiting for.
Wait, what?
The reverse of possession.
So they give them a minion?
Yes. So I can monk their asshole. Send monk to their side of the field and see how they like it.
Yeah, we were talking about the Hextech Transmogrifier, or whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's a devastating thing to use, and so, but personally, that's what I want is the reversal of possession. I think it'd be really funny.
It summons a minion to the opponent's side.
Yeah, they used to do what you could. They used to again going down Hearthstone territory. There used to be a card in Hearthstone called Betrayal, where it would you could pay it on whatever minion you wanted and send it to the reverse side of the field, and it was used in Warlock. And there was a card in Warlock that was every single time this card takes damage, discard a card from your hand. And so you'd throw it over to your opponent's side and just do like loads of damage to it, and then you would discard their hand and go, ha ha! How do you like having no cards? You'd wait until a certain point in the game. It depended what deck you were playing against. And it was like you just watch as their win condition, because you actually see all the cards that get burnt. You just watch as their win condition gets burnt in front of both of your eyes. And it's like, yes, you were holding that for a rainy day, you fool. Anyway, but we're going back to my past. It's fine.
Oh my god. That is a dark past, my dude.
Oh, it's dark past, but it's fun time.
Just making people just stealing people's decks. Like, are you gonna surrender yet?
Yeah.
I stole your deck.
Yeah, no, that was Druid. That was Druid who did that, which it was stealing the other person's deck while then also drawing your cards down to 0. I mean, see, that was the worst feeling. Like in Legends of Runeterra. Like, once you hit 0 cards, then the game's over. Mm-hmm. Like that thing, like you draw into nothingness and you lose. Whereas in Hearthstone, it used to be that you'd go into what was known as fatigue, where literally every single time you went to draw, but there was nothing to draw, you would take increasing damage. So the first time you try to do it, you would take 1 damage. The second time you take 2 damage. The next time you take 3 damage. And so taking someone else's deck and like making sure they would slowly die. It wasn't a quick death. They would slowly die turn after turn as they tried to draw cards that are no longer there, and slowly watch as the damage creeps up. It's great days they were. Great days.
That stuff feels bad. That's like dying from poison so slowly.
It gave you the only good side about that is that it gave you a chance to, if you did still have a win condition in hand, to try to get it out, and you were facing against your own deck in a manner of speaking, in terms of like making sure that you tried to get your combo off before you died, which was a crazy thing, because there was then a card that they introduced called Mecha Cthulhu, which basically, if Mecha Cthulhu died and you had no cards in hand and no cards in your deck, the second it died, its death rattle or last breath was you win the game. So literally there was things that were like decks that were made that worked around that concept, where literally it was draw your deck as fast as possible, burn all the other cards, and then there was there was like Death Blossom or something which could do. I can't remember. There was a thing where you could make sure that died on the turn you played it, and then just win the game instantly and be like,
got him,
got him,
got him.
Oh my goodness!
Got you, bitch.
Hopefully, Runeterra doesn't go into a direction.
You say that, but they were fun times, man. You say these words.
No. I'm saying hopefully it's not like a instant win con.
I mean, you say that. Fiora's got the same kind of thing. Fiora just has to kill 4 people and instantly win, regardless of your health, your opponent's health, anything. So it's a similar kind of thing like that. It takes a lot to make the win condition happen, but it is an instant win. So technically, there is already one of those kind of things in the game.
True.
With Champion.
True.
So
with Fiora,
yeah.
Lee Sin is in that territory as well, because like Lee Sin, Ezreal are in that territory, because there's a lot of times where he's just pumping gems into his Lee Sin, and you're like, okay, well,
Bulgriff in the
I'm
chat.
watching.
Bulgriff in the chat. Just say Ledros and Dreadway enter the chat. Yep. Oh, instant win condition.
So, I mean, there's things like that in the game where you're just watching it happen and going, okay.
Yep.
All right.
You're just like, all right, I guess it's. Oh yeah, you guys remember freaking not Reckoning? What's the name of that card? The Shadow House card that it brings back everything that died.
Harrowing.
Yeah, Harrowing. Yeah, Harrowing is in that territory too. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna play this card. All right. So, do you have a response? No. You're about to die.
Depends on what you bring it. Depends on what you bring it back.
Mysteries.
Nah, I remember when people were playing the
What, Anivia?
Yeah,
Anivia and Brom. Just so many Anivias coming back, and then just I heard you liked Van Dups.
It's just 4 Anivias. You're like, you just
the only thing that
time.
annoys me about that is how long it takes all the Anivia's attacks to go off.
I mean, yeah, you'd be waiting there. You'd be waiting there for so long. It's like, oh, yeah.
You just have to sit there like,
waiting there for so long.
You just have to sit here like, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I'm watching this for the next hour.
But it doesn't matter, because I'm playing Hush.
Oh, just hush on Anivia. Just so devastating now.
It's
just
so
like,
funny.
It's painful.
Did you think you were getting an egg out of this? Not today.
It's so painful. Yo, oh my gosh. Hush. All right, anyways.
Yes.
So, I think we're gonna end it here, guys. I personally need to work on our outro, because I suck at that a lot. But
this has been the Mystic Songs podcast. Do. Hey.
So
and you have your outro.
So
no, I mean it. You could probably like just clip Gomez's little thing right there and put it at the end of every episode, and it would be glorious.
You've activated my trap card. End of show. It ends. Good day.
I might clip that one. Put that at the end of every episode.
Yep.
You've
and we're done.
Trap card.
With the Nocturne emote.
All right. So So I'm gonna leave everyone's links in the description for the YouTube people, and also I'm gonna put everybody's links in the Twitch chat as well.
Yep. I sadly, and I know you guys are both very sad about this.
Yeah, how dare you get married, you bastard? How dare you get married and then want to have a honeymoon? What gives you the right?
Yeah, this past Friday.
Yeah.
This past Friday, I tied the knot to my beautiful
what's up, guys?
wife, and we were both incredibly happy.
Honestly, though, congratulations, mate. Great.
Thank you very much. If you head over to my Twitter, I will put some type of photos so you can see exactly how radiant she was that day. And next weekend, we will be off on a little trip to enjoy some silence from our children.
Where are the children going? We're locking them up in the kennels. You know, like how you put your dog in the kennels? We've got a children kennel, throwing them in there.
No, that's not even the answer. Where are our children going? I don't care.
They have to fend for themselves.
Seriously, whatever. Lord of the Flies.
Yep, exactly.
Something.
It makes them strong. It makes them stronger in the long run, right?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Precisely.
You guys are trolls. Oh my goodness. But all right.